Hola, bienvenidos to the Mexico Open 2022 DraftKings show. I'm your host, DB. I have Pat Perry with me. I'm drinking
Hey.
tequila, which I drink every week anyway, but cheers for the Mexico Open, buddy. You drinking some beer tonight? I
Yeah, I
didn't
got a
ask
little,
you that on the last show.
yeah, I have a beer.
What you drinking?
You know what I haven't had in a while that I'm drinking?
What?
Fat Tire.
Yeah, Fat Tire's all right.
It's a pretty decent beer.
Pretty decent beer. Presented by our friends at Fantasy National. If you head over to fantasynational.com/TJ, you get 20% off any level membership there. Weekly, monthly, annual memberships, they all are great, and you can upgrade them at any point. You know, if you get the weekly, you want the monthly, you get the monthly, you want the yearly, you can do that and still get the 20% off. It's where all of our stats, all of our data comes from. That's where we do lineup builders and we optimize some stuff. And, you know, maybe we run a model and we look at a model and we play a model and we bet a model and we win money on a model. All that comes from fantasynational.com. Check it out. Or as my friends in Pennsylvania that I just visited would say, check it out. I'm excited about this week, Pat, even though it's a totally crapshoot field. That presents opportunity, my man, and we're going to get into that for DraftKings. We talked a little bit about this on the betting show, but we do have some new content coming out this week. We got new writers. We got a handful of new writers coming out. New content on tourjunkies.com's blog section, and everything there is free. In fact, we just dropped 3 brand new articles last week that are like game theory strategy articles. So I think there's one on cash play. There's one on getting started in DFS. There's one about ownership and chalk that I think our boy AC wrote. Check those out. Those are free. You know, if you're just getting into this and you want to learn a little bit, check that out. Also, you know, here's something we haven't talked about in forever, Pat. I don't even know if we remember that we have this on our website. You know, we have a page on our website that has all the jargon stuff on it, all the lingo. You
Yeah.
know? It's just got
That's actually a very informative section of the website.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then, I'm sure you probably look at it to remind yourself what we're
I
doing.
do, because I'm wondering what the hell I'm talking about sometimes.
Yeah, so if you're, like, listening to this and you're lost on some of the terminology when we say GPP or whatever, you know, go look that up. It's on our page, Junkie Jargon. It's all free. You can check it out. But we got some new content coming this week. First round leader article coming, I think, by our boy Tyler. We've got Joe writing about kind of like analyzing a little bit of the chalk and the ownership stuff and where all that goes, breaking down the tournament that ends the week before. He's going to be looking at that, maybe even giving us a little pivot point revival. I didn't announce that in the betting show, but some of you have been around long enough to remember the pivot point, and I'm not saying it's for sure coming back, but it might be coming back, and our boy Joe B may be bringing it back this week. Maybe, maybe not. You know,
Pivot Point was good.
the pivot point was a good
Good
article.
stuff.
It's 2 chalky plays and a couple pivot plays. So there you go. That's that. We've got some other content coming out as well. I'm excited about our boy. Well, I don't know if that one's coming out this week. We'll hold. But anyway, check out the Tour Junkies blog this week. There's plenty coming. And you know, we talked about Marcus. Crazy Marcus hit himself another LPGA Tour winner. Hit a lady at 40-1 last week. He didn't hit her, but he hit her. He hit the bet.
Yeah, I don't know if you should say it like that.
Well, I said hit a lady at 40-1. You know, there we go. It works. We also talked about my on the betting show, my trip to Pennsylvania to go check out the Mountain Valley course, the host of the Tour Junkies first ever live event in September. You're going to want to check that out. We got a bunch of new content that we collected from there that we're going to be pumping out of here in the next few weeks. And, you know, if you have any questions about it, DM us, email us, get in the Nut Hut server, ask us about it. We'll be happy to share it with you. But it's just going to be lit. That's all I got to say. And there's still 6 spots left on my team if you want to be Team DB. I believe 5 spots left on Pat's team if you want to be a loser. That's all there. And your ticket includes all your golf, 2 meals on Friday, 2 meals on Saturday, all your beer, all your wine, all your Tour Junkie signature cocktails, and a hell of a lot of fun and 2 parties. And you can stay for free if you camp out on the driving range or you bring an RV. You can sleep right there. They're not charging you, and you can camp out on the driving range. But there's also hotel rooms blocked off just a few miles away from the golf course. We've got those at a discounted rate as well. And I stayed there this weekend. It's a beautiful place. So get there. All right, that's what I'm saying. September 23rd and 24th in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. It's a lovely spot. I did my Pennsylvania accent on the last show, and I don't want to do it again. But I might.
I feel like you may have like sort of
I peaked right there.
You peaked
I
really,
did do
like,
it better
you
than I
did
should.
it really good, and you shouldn't, like, just go back and listen if you didn't,
But I
'cause
may throw in a few words here and there. I may throw out a little, I may throw out something,
can
Pennsylvania.
you promise me one thing, though?
Maybe not. I'm not gonna promise you anything. No.
Okay, well, can I have a request?
Yes.
Can maybe we just, like, you do the Pottsville, Pennsylvania accent for just this show or this evening, and then you kinda just let it go before, like, and then when we get back, maybe when we get back to Pennsylvania for the event, you can bring it up every once in a while, or, like, if
Absolutely
you
not. No, I'm not gonna let it go. It's a fun accent to have. And it's not Aussie, Marcus. It was very much producer Sam said it was very good, and he was born there. So shut it. All right, here we go, Pat. Let's get into this. It's DraftKings. It's the Mexico Open. It's a brand new golf course, a brand new event. It's a garbage field. What do we do? Where do we go? You know, what are we even wearing any pants right now? We could be not. You don't know. All you see is shirts. I don't know. But it's a weird week, but it's an opportunity kind of week, one of those weeks. John Rahm is only in this field, only $11,300, Pat. I'm sorry, but even though John Rahm has been underwhelming this season, $11,300 is criminally low here. This is criminally low in this field. With Daniel Berger dropping out, now obviously the pricing was set before Berger withdrew. But even still, like this should have been. Remember when we started doing the podcast in like 2015 when guys were over 12,000? Plenty.
yeah, I remember that, yeah.
This should have been a no-brainer 12,500 week for John Rahm. This should have been. I mean, don't you think?
I don't know if I would put it that high, but I think that, yeah, it should have been probably closer to 12.
Oh, are we boring you, Pat? Would you like to change the course of the discussion we're having?
No, sometimes I yawn, it just happens.
Okay.
I mean, you can't control a yawn.
You can.
And
You can
and
you can
whoever
eat a
said that
yawn.
yawning means you're bored?
You can eat a yawn. You can swallow a yawn.
Nobody ever said that, like, I don't know why yawning actually is like signifies boredom. I don't really understand. I've always wondered why if you yawn, that means you're bored or not paying attention or whatever.
I don't know.
I mean, I just want to know.
I don't know. No. We're not gonna get into that right now. We're not gonna get into that right now.
Either way, I don't mind playing John Rahm at
Okay,
11-3. I
hold
can
on.
tell you that.
Hold on. This is how every DFS lineup build has to start. It's the same way I think the betting conversation is much easier, which we had on the betting show. It's a full fade. Do you roster John Rahm or not at 11-3? Now, obviously the price I think is way too low. But Pat, okay, tell me, are you thinking about ownership here whatsoever? Because to me, at 40%, for sure 40. And I guess I need to evaluate it if it's like, higher than 25, lower than 40. If it's in there, then I need to keep thinking. But I'm thinking that for sure, if he's like 40%, I'm out. If he's 35%, I go ahead and think I'm out. If he's 30%, I'm starting to wonder if he's anything less than 25, I'll be shocked and I'll have him at like 60%. But I think if he's anything above that 30 number at 30 or higher, I think I'm going to avoid him based on how he's played this year, based on a brand new golf tournament that nobody knows about, all the field, all the variants in this thing, the birdie fest. I think I'm going to avoid him if he's there.
I mean, do you think he's one of the best golfers in this field?
Of course, he is the best golfer in the field.
Okay, so like in a field like this, what should the best golfer do?
The best golfer should, top 5
I mean, like, so
more times than
if
not
you
because it is
think they're
still
gonna
golf.
like, I just feel like if you're gonna play John Rahm because you like the price at 11-3, and you can certainly fill out a good lineup with that.
Okay, but
I don't think you over. I guess my thing that I'm saying is you can't overthink this week. I really think that if like it's a new tournament on a new
at
course,
30 to 35% though.
then just play 100% of them, and if
If
you're
he
out,
does
then you're out. If you're out, then you're out. If he doesn't do well, then whatever. Who
if he
cares?
does what he's been doing, he finishes 25th or whatever, and
John Rahm should not finish 25th in this
he
field.
should not, you're right, but he also should have played a lot better than he has so far this year, and you're right, he should not have. And I actually disagree with you on making the lineup, even though I feel like he's a great value for sure. I hate the 6K range here. I absolutely hate it. We talked about on the betting show, you get into those longer odds and it is really ugly. I mean, it shows you how ugly this field is. I have a couple of names I'm going to mention in the 6K for the sake of it, but the 6K range is hideous. Now, I do like a couple names in the low sevens, but if you roster Rom, you're really putting some warts in your lineup, like that you're gonna have to dodge like 3 guys that are highly likely to trunk slam, and then it doesn't matter if you have John Rahm in your lineup.
Okay. I mean, I probably am gonna play John Rahm.
Let
Actually,
me
I'm
ask you
gonna
a
play.
question. Let me ask you a question. Here's another question for you. You're obviously loving my questions tonight.
Now, I don't like that you're asking me this many questions when you know that I didn't even really do that much research with this fucking tournament.
All right, let me ask you a question. All right, you like Tony Finau, and I kind of like Tony Finau too. Okay, but Pat, let's say Wednesday night is here, and John Rahm is projected around 30 to 33%. And Tony Finau, because so many people are playing John Rahm, and then people are diving down into the 9K range. They're saying, forget everybody in the 10s except for John Rahm. Tony Finau is projected at like 13. What are you going to do at that point?
I mean, I probably would still sit there and be like, let's just take everything out of the equation, take all the ownership and blah, blah, blah. And who do I think is the better golfer that I want to play? It's John Rahm. So I'll just play all the John Rahm. And if I get screwed, I get screwed.
Okay. All right, no further questions, Your Honor. I will be considering Rom and Finau. I'm not going to play them both. Probably, I'm probably either going to have one or the other in my player pool. I have kind of come around on Finau since the afternoon. You talked about him in the betting show. I'm kind of there on him, but obviously there's a lot of there's some other names in this range that that I also kind of like. I like Aaron Wise at 9,500. I like this little quartet from 9,800 to 95. Munoz, Tringali, Kirk, and Wise. Those are some names that I like. And I don't know, like that will probably be somewhat ownership dependent. I think I like Tringali and Munoz the most. But we'll see how it goes. I just think a lot of decisions are going to be made at the Rom Finau part. I think I don't know. Are people going to play Abe Answer? Nobody's going to play Abe Answer at 10-3, right? Like the Mexican with all the pressure in the world who's not really even played that well already this year. I mean, do you think people are going to play Abe Answer?
Well, I think people will play him. I actually think he'll have some ownership, but I'm not. I'm
No.
not. I'm not gonna. And I think where I feel like you could get some forgotten people up here in this 9K and over range. One is gonna be probably Patrick Reed.
Yeah, I mean, everybody below Finau in the 10K is going to
Yeah.
be
Gary
forgotten.
Woodland is another one.
I think Woodland could be
But
popular.
I think Woodland, because of the way he's played recently, could be popular. But Patrick Reed could be an interesting kind of pivot
Oof.
play
Yeah.
if
Oh,
you want some
for sure.
scary. But here's what I think.
For sure going to be a
This
pivot.
is a week, literally, if you don't like, so like, are you a haunted house person? Do you like haunted houses?
This reminds me of the magician conversation. I don't. I like scary movies. I even like
Yeah.
some of the dumb Chop Chop movies, but I don't like haunted houses because I don't trust the recovering meth addict with a chainsaw that's only supposed to go so far and not come close to me
Yeah.
or the people that I'm with. I mean, I was down with the haunted house back in the day, when you had a little shawty in the ninth grade or something, 10th grade, 11th grade, and you wanted to go scare her so she, grab you or something. I remember doing that. I was a fan.
Yeah.
but I'm not a fan at 38 years old. Do you like haunted houses?
I don't. Haunted houses scare the hell out of me. Like,
Dude, that should be on the betting wheel. That should be on the betting wheel
even
that you have to go to a haunted house.
even the
Sam, write
ones
that down. Producer Sam, write that down. That is an Can you imagine the video of that? Oh my
yeah.
god.
I
How
don't
triggered do you get in a haunted house?
I don't even want to go through a haunted house. I know that there's a bunch of fake stuff around me,
Oh my god. I'm laughing so hard on the inside right now.
but
Thinking about
I just don't want to go to a haunted house. But I feel like this week the whole Mexico Open is just one gigantic haunted house. And like and so like I
it's a
got it. It's like a
fun
it's
house.
one of those mazes. So I got to like pick the direction I want to go in, and I'm gonna pick the things that are gonna haunt me the most, and I'm just gonna do it because I don't care. So like there's players that you're gonna have to pick this week that it's like the haunted house where you're like, okay, well I know
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to those.
that I know I'm gonna have to choose the ghost that I don't wanna choose, or I'm gonna have to choose the room with the jail bars, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they're all reaching out towards me, and one of those dumbasses is gonna actually touch me when they're not supposed to.
And what do you do in that scenario?
I
I bet you have lost your
I'm kind of like it depends on the state I'm in, but it's gonna be either fight or flight. And if somebody touches me in a haunted house, I swear to God, I might break a rule and do something I'm not supposed to, like punch their ass or something like there's some dangerous stuff that could
No.
happen in a haunted house.
We've
I
never
don't even
talked
know.
about a haunted house, and I'm shocked that we've never talked about a haunted house because your family and your neighborhood does Halloween, like, big time, big time. I mean, if
Yeah.
you've never seen a big gaggle of old white folks really, really, hit a home run for Halloween, then head to the landings in Savannah on October 31st, and you're in that stuff. And how we've never had the
And it's my wife's favorite, like,
dude, that is
it's not this a holiday. It's not a holiday. It's a
what is it?
whatever. I don't know. You can't say Halloween's a holiday because it's not.
Anyway, I can't believe we've never had that conversation before, but I have to see you go through a haunted house. I will God, I will rig a bet to make sure that happens, and we will have a camera. By the way, I did pay off my Masters bet in Pennsylvania. I did my 2 holes uh, speed golf challenge in Pennsylvania. Got it on video. We'll edit it and post it. God,
Um,
that's so good. You're right though. That it feels like you're just, you know, you're risking it. It's a risky biscuit kind of week for sure.
yeah. So I don't even know where I was, but you mentioned Munoz. I'm a fan of his this week. I like him. I like Cameron Champ a lot. I think this is just him finishing top 10 at the Masters really shocked me. I just and he does this like he comes out of nowhere. He's
Yeah.
playing terrible, and then he has a good finish, and then he wins. And so
Yeah.
I feel like Cam Champ here at 9,400. He's the longest player in the field as far as driving distance, which is going to be huge this week. This is a long course. There's a lot of long par fours.
Yeah.
There's a lot of long par fives.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got to be able to hit it a long way. The fairways are wide open. I haven't really looked at the weather yet, but you look at a guy like Cameron Champ. I think this is a great course fit for him. So I like him there at 9,400. So there you go.
Oh god. Yeah, I mean, this is how scary this field is. I think the cash play here, if you're gonna play cash, which this week is one I would definitely not play cash, but if you're just gonna, for me, it's Cam Tringali. It's Catalina, baby. It's Catalina. For you nut hutters, you guys know what's up. Catalina is my cash lock. He's my
I think
Catalina.
you're right. I think I was gonna say Cash Guy Tringali.
Um, Yeah, dude. All right. Hey, listen, if you're enjoying this conversation, hit the thumbs up button there on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already. And I got I got a survey for you. I talked about this in the betting show. We ask a lot of questions here for the YouTube comments because we're actually doing some research. We read all the comments. We want to know. It helps us out. it helps the algorithm as well. Your favorite DraftKings contest to play in each week. Which contest is it? Is it the $33 dog leg single entry? Is it the $200 single entry? Is it the big 3,000, 44 entry? Are you a high stakes roller? We want to know what your favorite DraftKings contest is and what our listeners are playing in. We'd like to know. So put that in the YouTube comments here. If you're watching live, hold that comment until after the show is posted up and the live show is over. That would be very good. Pat, this is going to be a very integral week for the Nut Hut because I mentioned this on the betting show. We've already gotten some caddy intel from on site at Vedanta Vallarta, which is the course here for the Mexico Open. We've already gotten some caddy intel on the course today, and we've been promised a lot more come Tuesday and Wednesday. So this is one of those weeks where it could pay for your year in the Nut Hut. $90 a year or $10 a month on Discord. It's a hopping server, very active. Somebody's in that thing 24/7 ready to chat it up. And there's channels for literally every sport you could possibly gamble on or play DFS on. And people are in there mixing it up and doing it. So I promise you that you will win your money back. You will earn that $90 somehow. If you pay for the year, you'll earn it. It'll take 1 week, and this could be one of those weeks because it's one or two little pieces of nuggets, little informations we get, that ended up paying for your year, okay? And I think this is going to be the one because by Wednesday night, we do the live chat on Wednesday night around 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern. When we get in there for that live chat, we're going to have tons of intel, we hope and we believe, from some of our friends there on the ground watching the looking over the conditions and the golf course and all that stuff.
Sam just randomly put up the 6K range for some reason. I don't know. But another thing that this week that's interesting is we got that paspalum grass, that paspalum.
Yeah, tee to green, baby.
So we get to talk about that.
Course is looking mint too. We saw a
Yeah.
picture earlier today. It looks like Augusta National on the beach.
Well, wouldn't you want to get your grass looking mint, DB?
Sure. Yeah.
So then you need to use Sunday Lawn Care. Let me tell you something about our friends at Sunday. They're fantastic. I just got the newest shipment for my lawn, and it's easy to do. You just attach the garden hose spray thing to the pouch that they give you, and you spray it all over your grass, and it works well. And here's the thing. We need our grass to grow right now, okay? You need to be paying attention to your grass, all right? You don't need to let it go. This is prime time grass growing season. We want long, flush, good-looking grass, and Sunday can help you grow a beautiful lawn without all the guesswork or the nasty chemicals, okay? They got a custom plan for your house, okay? You can easily care for your lawn, and you got ingredients like seaweed, iron, molasses, and you can feel good about that. Natural chemicals.
Yeah.
Or actually not chemicals. I mean, it's just natural stuff. On your grass, you don't have to worry about
Lord's chemicals, you know what I mean? And they're not even chemicals. They're
you
just
don't have to worry about your kids, your dogs, your gerbils, things like that. All you have to do is visit Get Sundays.
Okay, gerbils?
Sorry. I forget. I had a gerbil once. He loved to be on the grass.
What? You had a gerbil? What? What was your gerbil's name? You had a gerbil as a kid or as a man?
No, as a kid.
The Perry Bros had a pet gerbil?
Yes.
What was his name?
Oh, man.
What was his name?
I'm not going to tell you his name.
You took him outside to go to the bathroom, like on a leash? He peed on the grass?
Well, he liked grass. He liked flat, like good green grass.
Okay, text me his name.
Okay, I'll text
after your ad read.
Anyway, all you got to do is go visit getsunday.com, put in your address, and their lawn analysis tool does the rest. They then use a soil and climate data to create a personal nutrient plan delivered to your door when you need it. I'm telling you, this thing is personal. They give it exactly what you need for your grass. It's amazing. Like I said, you just attach the ready-to-use pouch to a garden hose, and then you spray it. Only takes 15 minutes. It's very easy to do. I just did it last weekend. I sprayed my spring chemicals on there, and it's well, I shouldn't say chemicals. Sorry, because it's not
Your
chemicals. It's natural
naturals.
stuff. Okay, Sunday is offering our listeners 20% off. You get a full season plan, which starts at $129, and you can get 20% off at checkout when you go visit getsunday.com/junkies. That's 20% off of your custom plan at getsunday.com/junkies.
I mean, after 7 years together, I have learned 2 new things about you. That you hate haunted houses and you had a pet gerbil.
The gerbil's name was Rudy.
Why did you want to say that? Why is it funny? I don't understand. Please help me understand. Why did you want to say that earlier?
I don't know.
Rudy like the little Notre Dame man?
No, like the Cosby Show, Rudy. She was, you remember Rudy on the Cosby Show?
Yeah. You were a fan of hers?
I like Rudy. She had spunk.
Oh, okay. What the hell, man? I quit a really good job to do this full time. I quit a really good job. Okay. What? Can somebody put in the chat what range we're on? So spunky Rudy over there. Oh, dude, maybe maybe that's your new maybe that's Team Pat's mascot at the. Maybe it's not even Golby anymore. Maybe that's your mascot at the Golby's Cup. You know, there's a little subtweet down there for old Rudy.
I'm not going to be able to finish the rest of this show.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Okay, 8K range. Sam, let us know if we should just turn off the stream. Just put it in the chat, and we'll just don't even put it in the chat. Just turn it off. Just act like something happened. Act like we had a technical difficulty if something happened. 8K range on DraftKings. Somehow we're gonna figure this out. This one pretty simple for me. I think I got 2 guys in here I like, and those are about the only 2 guys I like. I'm going to go with The God at 8,800. Sahith checking some boxes. The iron play, the long iron play has been solid. Putting's been okay. Scores some DraftKings points. I definitely looked at DraftKings points scoring. Looked at opportunities gained on Fantasy National. He's 22nd in the field on in that stat. I got a little rest for him. You know, he plays so much. 8,800. I do think he could be a popular play. We'll see what happens. And then Lonto Griffin at 8,300. My man Lonto just can't, I mean, we just need Lonto. The irons are solid, man. The ball striking solid. His chipping is terrible, but I don't care about chipping this week. I don't care about strokes gained around the green this week. I'm not playing. I'm not putting it in a model. I don't care. But the ball striking has definitely been there for Lonto, so I'm there for him at 8,300. The fade is Davis Riley, Pat. And I got a little nugget for you on Davis Riley.
I don't mind that fade.
Davis Riley played with Will Zalatoris, and I talked about this team. I said this was a team to avoid in one of our videos we did for the Zurich Classic. At 35, I think it was 35. They were 35-1 outright. I did it on a betting video, which it was a worthy fade. I don't know where they finished, but it was a worthy fade. They weren't even close to winning this thing. They finished tied for 4th, which sounds close, but they were 6 shots behind. But let me tell you why I said he should fade it, because Davis Riley was bringing the team down, and the only reason they were 35-1, which is way too short to have Davis Riley on your team, was because Will Zalatoris was a stud. Well, in round 3 of the Zurich, which was the 4-ball round, they shot 8 under as a team. 8 under, Pat. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you know how many birdies Davis Riley contributed to that 8 under?
Was it 0?
It was 0. Davis Riley contributed 0 birdies to that 8 under round 3.
That's not very good.
That is not good. The guy is not playing well. He almost won the Valspar. He had a good week. He's probably a really good player. He's probably going to figure it out, but he's a rookie, and he ain't there yet. And he's definitely not there for me at 8,500. I think he's, DraftKings is still pricing him like he like he's playing the Valspar every week, but he's not. So I'm out. Your turn.
All right. Well, I'll give you a few people in here. I was with you on Thigala, so he's one of them that I like this week. There's something about me that wants to really play Charles Howell.
I
He
looked at that. I did almost hit that one.
he also had a good week at the Valspar, where he finished, what was it, fourth at the Valspar. So I think he's a guy that is yeah. Oh, no, sorry, he was fourth at Valero, which was actually after the Valspar. So I think Charles Howell, is a guy that in a field like this, veteran guy, doesn't have a ton of wins on tour, but always been a good cut maker, and I think he could definitely be a cash play in here at 8,400. He'd probably be my top cash play here. So I do like Charles Howell there at 8,400. I think even though he's not going to check a lot of boxes for you, but and maybe that's why his ownership could be low. But a guy like Taylor Moore at 8,200, just coming off of a pretty good finish with Matthew Naismith at the Zurich, I think was pretty good. Other than that, that's all I really got.
Who's your fade in this range?
If I'm gonna fade anybody, it's actually Doug Gim at 8,900.
Yeah, no, I'm out on Gim. I'm out on Gim too. I think the cash play here for me is Lanto. And I think the chalk is probably going to be Thigala and Carlos Ortiz. Everybody's going to like that Carlos Ortiz. Carlos Ortiz has played this course a bunch. He's familiar with it, but he ain't familiar with this version of it, which is, added 250 yards and 51 bunkers and all this stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not buying Carlos Ortiz right now. All right, Pat. 7K range, my man. 7K range. I got some interesting names in here. There's more. I mean, there's 3 in here that I'll give you in terms of GPP plays. I think Smotherman is the one that I think a lot of people are going to gravitate to. He's going to check a lot of boxes from a ball striking standpoint, and he's definitely doing that at 7,800. I think he's for sure worth a look. I like David Lipsky as well at 7,700. Lipsky played really well at the Zurich, and for example, round 3, he had 9 birdies. I'm sorry, for rounds 1 and 3, the 4-ball rounds, he had 9 birdies and 1 eagle on his own ball to help out his team, which is pretty solid compared to other names I looked at. They played good, him and Aaron Rye. I like Lipsky a good bit. I like. I talked about this guy on the show, on the betting show a little bit. I think Danny Lee is always interesting. Resort courses like this with wide open fairways and a birdie fest. Danny Lee ranks 11th in DraftKings scoring over the last 24 rounds. He makes plenty of birdies. He just makes big numbers. I don't think there's a lot of big numbers out here. I mean, yeah, there's some water holes, like maybe 5 or 6 or so, 7 of them maybe. But I just don't think there's a lot of bogey holes out here. So I like Danny Lee at the value at 7,100. But here's a name for you, Pat. Here's a super cheap name, and I didn't mention this guy on the betting show. This is about to blow your mind. You ready? This guy in the 2021-2022 PGA Tour season, so starting in September through now, Pat, has the same number of top 10s as world number 3 and $11,300 price this week, Jon Rahm. Same number of top 10s in the same season. Do you know who it is? They have 3 top 10s. Same number as Jon Rahm.
And this is a guy in the 7K range.
This is a guy at $7,000 on DraftKings.
I would probably have to say somebody like Robert Streb or something.
It is Robert Streb at $7,000.
Oof,
same number of
that
top.
is disgusting.
It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. But I'm just saying, it's 7K, and it is Robert Streb, who's annoyingly kind of, he annoyingly kind of pops all of a sudden, right? Like that's kind of his MO. If you scroll and look at his feed, his feed on Fantasy National, or how his summary of tournaments, that's kind of what he does. He just sucks. Boom, top 10. Sucks, top 10. Like that's what he does. And he's not a short hitter. He's a short man, but he's not a short hitter. And he's at 7K in a crappy field. I think he's got some value. Pretty bananas, I know, but I think he's got some value. My cash play here is going to be Nick Taylor. I also like Nick Taylor in GPPs, but in terms of like a name I really, truly feel comfortable is going to make the cut, it is Nick Taylor. I actually feel better about Nick Taylor making the cut than I do Austin Smotherman. I feel better about Austin Smotherman, finishing top 10 than I do Nick Taylor, but I do think Nick Taylor is going to make the cut. I think that's the cash play. And my fade is Patrick Rogers because I can't stand trying to
We talked about him on the betting show.
I'm out. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's a total Pat fade for me. Patrick Rogers and the Pat justification for the fade. Just, I don't like it.
I don't mind, actually, that fade. I think Smotherman up here is, good gosh. I mean, he's like across the board. He's top 30 in everything that I'm looking at as far as stats are concerned, which I did say on the betting show. I do feel like you kind of have to cut that back a little bit. Don't be married to your stats. It's a new course. We don't know. But I do like Smotherman here. I like Wyndham Clark. I know this is, folks who've listened to us for a while know that I have kind of a Wyndham Clark love-hate relationship, but I'm gonna love some Wyndham Clark this week. He is number 2 in the field in driving distance behind Cameron Champ. He's made his last 3 cuts, so I think at 7,600, Wyndham Clark is a very good play here. I'll tell you this range is one of those where I feel like you can go with your gut a little bit. I like Peter Uihlein. He's at 7,000. He's been playing well between both tours this year, playing a lot on the Corn Ferry, and which you're going to see a lot this week. There's a lot of Corn Ferry guys and, your regular tour guys here that are getting starts. But I like Peter Uihlein, plenty long off the tee, and has been playing pretty well this year. Another guy that I think is I think nobody thinks of him because he doesn't have the distance. But JT Poston is 7,500. He's coming off of a good finish at the RBC Heritage where he had like a 63 in the final round and ends up finishing in the top 5. I feel like JT Poston could play well this week. I don't want to just like pigeonhole myself into only taking bombers and only taking guys that are long off the tee.
He
And
does hit it further than you may think. Yeah.
Yeah. And if guys are if there's gonna be somebody that I do play that isn't just, a bomber, JT Poston's a guy that I think could play really well this week. So I like him also at 7,500. I think though, as far as if I'm looking at a cash play, did you give a cash play in this range?
Yeah, Nick Taylor.
I guess, but this hard in this range.
It's hard, I know. Yeah, but Nick
I
Taylor,
almost think Smotherman. If I just want to go off of guys that really fit a lot of the different categories here, but still that's risky as hell.
Yeah, it is risky.
That's a risky biscuit, DB.
Yeah, that's one of them risky gerbils. One of them gerbils that'll kind of.
That's a gerbil that doesn't like grass. That's a gerbil that wants to go onto a dirt road, and you're like,
it's kind of a careless gerbil.
He's a careless gerbil.
Yeah. What's not? Well, no, I can't say that. Anyway, we're really doing a good. One thing in the Nut Hut that I promise you can make your money back on is what we're doing in PrizePicks right now, which is damage. Okay, we got a PrizePicks thread going on. We got the PrizePicks, fantasy golf sommelier video that's cooking. And obviously, PrizePicks has been a good partner of the Tour Junkies podcast. So if you are in a legal state, and there are like 28 of you that are 28 states that are legal, it would behoove you to go ahead and sign up for PrizePicks if you've not already, and it would help us out, and it would also help you out to use promo code TJ when you do, and you can get a $100 deposit bonus up to $100 when you deposit $100. It's the best legal way to play player props in a bunch of states. Okay, it's daily fantasy made easy. You just pick 2 to 5 players and an over/under on their projections. You can sometimes win up to 11 or even 12x on your entries. It's just you versus the numbers. You don't have to worry about ownership. You don't have to worry about all that good stuff. And they allow mixed sport entries. So if you want to do a little NBA playoff action and, this week's golf tournament, you can knock that out. They offer every sport you can think of: golf, NFL, college football, NBA, Major League Baseball, soccer, MMA, all that kind of stuff. They got a great mobile app. The website's awesome, way better than the competitors. I will tell you that. So if you're playing with a competitor, some sort of daily prop situation, I promise you the app you're using is frustrating the piss out of you, and the one at PrizePicks will not do that. So check them out. They're safe. They offer fast withdrawals, and that's promo code TJ when you sign up to get you that $100 deposit bonus. There's Pat eating another yawn right there.
I
There he is.
mean,
He thought I wouldn't see it, but he did.
I did.
I
I
saw it.
mean, it's
Um,
yeah, yawns have a bad rap. That's all I'm gonna say. Like a yawn could be a good thing, and somebody said, "You know what? I'm gonna make a yawn a bad thing."
okay. All right. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and drop in the comment that your favorite DraftKings contest to play in every week. We'd like to know that. And some of you people think we don't look at these comments. We look at them, but also not only do we look at them, we usually will pick one and send you a little message and be like, "Yo, we want to send you something free for watching and commenting." So you never know when that's going to happen. So just keep doing it. All right, 6K range, Pat. I hate this range, and this is what I was saying when we were talking about John Rahm up top. God, I mean, it's as cheap as I think Rom's price is, I'm not crazy about having to come close to dipping down here in the 6K range, and obviously that kind of squeezes you into possibly having to do that when you play John Rahm. But I just don't like names here. I mean, I'm going to give 3, but I'm not crazy about it. I'm saying I like relative to the 6K range. Peter Malnati a little bit, and then Paul Barjon is interesting to me a little bit, and I'm going to give you some just real cheap guys here. We're going deep. I mean, Barjon is 6,500. He actually lost in a playoff at an event in 2021 on the Corn Ferry Tour in Mexico. It wasn't coastal, but it was in Mexico. That was in 2021. So Paul Barjon is something, and then it's 6,300, real close to the men. Sung You'll Know, who, used to be a guy on the PGA Tour that had a little bit of promise. He went off and filled his military duty, came back, and he really hasn't been the same. The putting, the short game is really what saves him, which is pretty scary around here. But he has made 4 cuts in a row, including the Puerto Rico and the Corrales. A couple of events you could say have similarities to this one. He's made 4 cuts in a row. Watch out. Don't let Sung You'll Know get dangerous on you. He's making 4 cuts in a row. That's, he's choosing violence when he wakes up in the morning. And that could hurt you. That could hurt you. So he also finished 30th at the Bermuda in October, another event somewhat similar. 42nd at Pebble Beach Coastal Track. I mean, he's gonna be terrible tee to green, but putting is solid. He's not short off the tee, so maybe he's losing some of these strokes. Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, he's losing most of his strokes off the tee, really to accuracy, but he's got a little pop in the bat. So maybe it really comes down to the iron play. Yeah, I mean, his average ball speed is 174.5. That's not bad at all. So, I mean, Sung You'll Know at 6,300, possibly in a large GPP, but I really hate this range.
I didn't even know we would get to
I
Sung
know.
You'll Know.
I know. I didn't know we get to haunted houses and gerbils, but here we are.
I mean, I think I think a guy like Vincent Whaley, who we interviewed earlier this year, could have a decent week. Hasn't played what?
Okay, yeah, you're right. We interviewed him earlier this week. Is that what you said?
I mean, this year is
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
meant to say. He is top 5 in the field in par 5 scoring, by the way.
No, I like Whaley all right.
A couple more. By the way, you talk about a guy that's made a lot of cuts lately. That hasn't been great, but Bill Haas has made a lot of cuts.
Oh, I can't do it. I will never play
He's
Bill
made
Haas.
his last like 4 or 5 cuts if you include the Zurich with his dad, Jay Haas, who's 65 years old. He made the cut.
That's got to give you a lot of hope, huh? Did you enjoy watching that?
I mean, that Jay Haas could literally run circles around you on the golf course, make you look like he probably hits it as far as you do.
Duh. Like, what are you talking about, Pat? He's a former professional golfer.
I'm just
He's won
saying,
the
you
PGA
you
Tour
hate
multiple
you
times.
hate old people, so
I don't hate old people.
um Another guy that I think is a little bit interesting in here is who? Oh, Trey Mullinax. I think Trey Mullinax at 6,800. He's a guy we've seen play pretty well in the Corn Ferry Tour this year. Hits it a long way. He is 4th in the field in driving distance, 12th in strokes gained off the tee. He's 32nd in par 5 scoring. I think Trey Mullinax could be another good play down here at 6,800. That's pretty. That's pretty. That's it. That's all I
Yeah,
got.
the 6K range is ugly, man.
Yeah.
It really is. I guess we have to build a lineup though, Pat. We have to do a
Let's do
2 minute
it. Let's
2
build
minute
the lineup.
and we don't have we're not on our normal streaming software here because we had so many technical difficulties. So we're gonna do this the old fashioned way. Um, if you'll keep the timer, I'll build our lineup for us if you want to do that.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Here we go.
Let's see.
Is it 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Okay.
We are the 2 minute men. Here we go. And you tell me when.
Go.
All right. I don't want to play John Rahm.
All right. Well, let's start down then with like either Gary Woodland or Munoz.
Okay. I'll go Munoz.
Okay.
What about Tringali?
I could go there too. I could go. Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
There.
What about
Let's drop down to see what we can get if we go down to somebody in the 7K range, like a Danny Lee.
ooh. You're tempting me with Danny Lee right out the gate like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I could do that. This is getting wild here. What about Lipsky?
Yeah. I could go Lipsky. We'll do that.
I mean, so far we definitely have some good ownership leverage, I'd say. So if we
Where are we? What do we have average left?
we have like 78.50 left. So I mean, if we wanted to use most of our salary, I think because of the ownership leverage we have, we'd probably be okay. So I would go Lonto. I would go Smotherman.
I kind of wanted you to go up to Thigala and then see where we get from there.
Okay, let's try that. Deagle, where you at though? That leaves us with 6,900. I don't love that.
I don't
How
like
much time
that.
do we have?
20 seconds.
No, take out Deagle. What about
Take a think.
Smotherman?
All right, let's go Smotherman.
All right, and then that leaves us with 7,900. Wyndham Clark.
Yes, let's go Wyndham. Yes, got to
Yeah,
go Wyndham.
this is a hideous lineup. Jeez, good God Almighty! All right, that's it.
Time.
Sebastian Munoz 9,800. Cam Tringali 9,700. Austin Smotherman 7,800. David Lipsky 7,700. Wyndham Clark 7,600 and Danny Lee 7,100. So I guess you would say that would be a balanced lineup there. Faded.
That's got to feel like a Mexico Open lineup if I've ever heard
I mean,
one.
it's definitely does. Definitely does. There you have it, folks. Listen, like I said, tons of new blog content coming out this week on the tourjunkies.com website. Check that out. We'll have some more YouTube content coming out tomorrow. Emails hitting your inbox this week. Make sure you're subscribed to the Chalk Bomb email. You also get the heavy petting email tomorrow. Every Tuesday it comes out. That's on the website, tourjunkies.com/chalkbomb, or the bottom right-hand corner of every page on the website. Pat, anything else, buddy?
No, I think that's all I got. Good shows tonight.
All right. Good stuff, man. Haunted houses and gerbils. That'd be the title of this episode if we just named it random stuff. There we go. Have a great week. May your screens be green. See ya.